Coming up on today's show, Audi unveils the Q4 e-tron concept car in Geneva and hints it's coming to market pretty soon. Tesla opens its first super-fast V3 Supercharger station, and the Jaguar I-Pace wins the title of 2019 European Car of the Year. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to another roundup of the news in the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation. It was the Geneva Motor Show this week, and as a consequence, there are lots of fun new vehicles to talk about. So let's get on with it. Like its fellow Volkswagen Group siblings, Audi was at the Geneva Motor Show this week with a stand made up entirely of plug-in vehicles. Among them, the world premiere of the Audi Q4 e-tron, a concept car that previews the Q4 e-tron SUV that Audi says it plans to bring to market at the end of next year. Smaller than the flagship e-tron SUV, the Q4 e-tron, which is actually based on the Volkswagen MEB platform, travels a lot further per charge than its big brother. Audi is quoting a WLTP range of 450 kilometers. Pricing has not yet been announced, but it will cost less than the Audi e-tron. Tesla has switched on the first of its promised V3 Supercharger stations this week, making it possible to charge a Tesla Model 3 at speeds in excess of 250 kilowatts, or as Tesla likes to say, 1,000 miles per hour. This halves total charge times. Model S and Model X customers can't yet charge at such high rates, but Tesla says it's turning up the maximum power of its existing supercharger stations to 145 kilowatts. Combined with a new en route battery warm-up routine that gets the battery ready to charge, Tesla says charge times at V2 stations will also be cut by about 25%. It's official. The Nissan Leaf has become the first electric car in history to pass a total of 400,000 unit sales. While Tesla has made more than 400,000 electric cars altogether, Nissan still has the edge when it comes to single model sales and production. Although I should note here that the figure does include both first and second generation Leafs. While Tesla Model 3 production is rapidly gaining on Nissan Leaf production, it's totally worth celebrating the fact that there are 400,000 less internal combustion engine cars on the road, thanks to the Nissan Leaf. Jeep used the Geneva Motor Show to unveil plug-in hybrid versions of the Jeep Renegade and Jeep Compass. Keeping their all-wheel drive capabilities, both models do away with a traditional prop shaft to get power to the rear, replacing it instead with a rear-mounted electric motor. Both have a promised range of around 50 kilometers in all-electric mode. FCA describes a total carbon dioxide emission of less than 50 grams per kilometre, as well as improved acceleration. They will enter production later this year for European launch next. Volkswagen unveiled yet another plug-in concept car in Geneva this week by the name of the ID Buggy, an all-electric take on the classic Volkswagen Dune Buggy. It's a vehicle that will probably never enter into production, no surprise there. But there is something interesting about it. You see, Volkswagen said at its press conference that it will start selling rolling MEB chassis to third-party manufacturers, opening up the door that someone else could maybe make a buggy based on the platform, or indeed any number of kit car builds. If it follows through with this plan, this could make for some very interesting custom cars. Tesla will hold an event at its design studio in Hawthorne, Los Angeles on Thursday next week to reveal the Tesla Model Y crossover. Lots of people have asked if I'm going to be there, and I'm sorry to say I won't be because I don't have an invite and I don't actually own a Tesla. However, I will be covering the event from afar as best I can, although I'll actually be doing something else that night in San Diego, but I'll do my best. What I can tell you, though, from what Elon Musk has said thus far, is that the car will be slightly larger than Model 3, a little more expensive, and production plans have yet to be confirmed. Harley-Davidson has announced official specifications for its live-wire electric motorcycle, and they're actually a lot better than it first promised. 0 to 60 miles per hour will take place in 3 seconds, and Harley-Davidson says that the live wire will travel up to 140 miles in the city or 88 miles combined. Quick charging will come as standard, offering a 0 to 80% recharging time of just 40 minutes. Sadly, while specs are improved over previous ones we've been given, the price hasn't. You're still looking at around $30,000 to get your hands on one. The Honda E prototype made its debut at the Geneva Motor Show and, says Honda, will enter into production later this year for European market only. Its rear-wheel drive has around 200 kilometers of range and doesn't have a lot of luggage space, so it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But I've already had people reach out and ask where they can buy one. Sadly, I don't believe it will end up in North America. Honda did say at the show, however, that it aims to make its European lineup 100% electrified by 2025, which could mean anything from having hybrids to fuel cells and all-electric models. Chinese company Niro, which had planned to build a brand new factory in China so that it could build its own cars rather than rely on its current vehicle manufacturing partner, JAC Motors, has scrapped its factory plans and warned that demand for its vehicles just haven't lived up to its expectations. As an electric car company in China, where car sales are plummeting in general, but where electric car sales are flourishing, this is very bad news for the company. In fact, stock has taken a massive tumble since it's not clear what's going to happen next. And now it's time for those shorts. Pininfarina debuted its Battista all-electric Hyper GT car in Geneva this week. It has 1.4 megawatts of power, a 120 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and it does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in less than 2 seconds. Just 150 very expensive examples will be made. Nissan unveiled a new concept car in Geneva this week in the form of the IMQ Concept. Unlike other IM-badged concept cars we've seen, this one is not a plug-in car. Instead, it's a series hybrid with quad-electric motors driven by a 4-cylinder engine. Tesla has been told by the German Industry Association for Fair Competition Practice to stop listing its cars on its website after incentives and gas savings. It was argued that since those savings can't be deducted from vehicle purchase prices, it shouldn't be listed. Tesla has until March 20th to comply. Alongside the Q4 e-tron, Audi used Geneva as a chance to showcase the pre-production prototype of the e-tron Sportback. Based on the same chassis as the e-tron SUV, the e-tron Sportback will go on sale later this year or early next. The Boring Company has announced a new potential Hyperloop route, this time in Las Vegas, Nevada. The project has yet to gain approval, but if it's greenlit, it could link up all the major casinos and the Las Vegas Convention Center, and that would sure beat sitting on the strip in traffic. Fiat is 120 years old this year, and to celebrate, it's debuted the Fiat concept Centoventi at the Geneva Motor Show. All electric, its most exciting feature is the ability to expand its range by using a series of modular batteries. This could make it possible for customers to rent extra battery capacity and thus range for those long-distance trips. As it continues to push towards going fully electric, Audi is experimenting with reusing its old electric car battery packs to power factory vehicles. Replacing the lead-acid battery packs of current vehicles with used lithium-ion ones, Audi says it could literally save millions. Volkswagen's Spanish brand Seat showcased a near-production-ready MEB-based Airborne hatchback car this week in Geneva. Due to enter production by 2020, it's a fantastic-looking car that promises next-generation rapid charging and around 420 kilometers of range. Mitsubishi unveiled the Engelberg Tourer PHEV concept car as well as the Dendo Drivehouse in Geneva this week. The former may not be super exciting, but the latter is a V2G home energy system that will go on sale in some markets later this year. India has officially extended its FAME, that's Faster Adoption and Manufacturing of Hybrid and Electric Vehicles, incentive program with a 10,000 crore rupee cash injection. The program will run from April 1st for a total of 3 years and will include 2-, 3- and 4-wheeled vehicles in its incentive program, as well as buses. BMW has let some lucky journalists behind the wheel of its pre-production prototype Mini Cooper SE. The S, of course, is the standard designation, but E means electric. With the same drivetrain and power plant as the i3, the reports so far are good, with handling, acceleration and performance all praised. The Trump administration is putting pressure on automakers to back its attempts to freeze fuel economy standards. While most automakers refuse to discuss the pressure publicly, GM has said that it told the Trump administration that while it supports a nationwide emission standard, it wants an all-electric future. The exclusion of plug-in hybrids on UK plug-in car grant programmes is starting to have an effect, with the latest data showing a drop in plug-in car sales that are plug-in hybrids and a massive drop in hybrid car sales during February. Pure electric sales, meanwhile, are up, with a 108% increase. Arizona prosecutors have decided Uber is not criminally liable in the case of the fatal March 2018 crash that killed a cyclist walking her bicycle across the road. The backup driver in the autonomous vehicle, who wasn't paying attention, could still be convicted of vehicular manslaughter. Pagani says it's working on a brand new all-electric hypercar for launch in 2024, but it does acknowledge that at the moment its customers and its dealers are not at all interested. The company wants to prepare for the future, but sadly, it seems its customers are stuck in the past. And those are your short shorts. There will be more next week. Volkswagen has unveiled what it calls a near-production-ready version of its combined rapid charging and battery storage system. Called the Flexible Quick Charging Station, it has an onboard battery pack capable of storing 360 kilowatt-hours of electricity and says Volkswagen can charge cars at a rate of up to 100 kilowatts. It can also be used in a grid-connected or off-grid situation, and Volkswagen says it could be used as a storage device for smoothing grid power. Production of the units will start in Hanover next year, and Volkswagen says that they will be built with second life battery packs from its electric cars. After a nail-biting final, which saw it go head-to-head with the Alpine A110, the Jaguar I-Pace has won the 2019 European Car of the Year award. The only electric car to be shortlisted this year, the I-Pace beat competition from Kia, Ford, Citroën, Mercedes-Benz and Peugeot before the showdown with the A110. While it did appear to be a dead heat, the big cat had earned just enough points to nab the coveted award. It's the first time since 2012 that a plug-in car has won the award, and the first time since 2011 that a fully electric car has come out on top. Energica is pretty well known these days in the motorsport world, thanks to its involvement in the Moto E programme, not to mention its range of all-electric road bikes. And now it's teamed up with Moto E and MotoGP to auction off the chance to ride a race-ready Energica Moto E at MotoGP sites across the world, all for a good cause. You won't be riding on the track in an actual race, but you will get a chance to ride around the track on a lap using an Energica Moto E in front of a full MotoGP crowd, just ahead of the race itself. It's all in aid of Two Wheels for Life, which helps provide transport for healthcare workers in remote parts of Africa. And finally, at every single auto show, there's always some weird or wonderful concept on display that makes you stop and stare. And this year, I think Geneva's stop and stare moment goes to tyre company Goodyear. Why? Well, it unveiled something called the Aero Concept tyre, a two-in-one tyre, or perhaps that should be a wheel, which features a multimodal rotor and an in-wheel motor. In addition to the usual bit you get to drive along the road, it envisages a future where vertical takeoff and landing cars are the norm. It's clever, but that takeoff sequence is really funky. And on that note, it's the end of this week's show. Don't forget to like, comment and share. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out a single episode. And if you'd like to support our network, you'll find links below to Patreon, Ko-fi and of course our shop. That shop where you can buy some great TE swag. And if you want to chat about the show, we've got you covered too with a Discord server. There's a link to that also below. I hope you all have a great weekend. And by the way, if you happen to be in San Diego on Thursday night next week, why not come along to the Centre for Sustainable Energy, where I'm going to be the guest of the Electric Vehicle Association of San Diego. I'll be back soon with more news, reviews and insight for you all to enjoy. But until then, I hope the rest of your weekend is fantastic. And don't forget to be better, kinder and smarter to one another. Keep evolving.